Jay Sano without intro music. Jay Sano with intro music. Intro music remix. Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19. All right, hello everybody, and welcome back. It is Jeff again, coming to you with another episode of Mindcrack from the Minecraft vanilla server. And yet again, getting off of a night shift, so bear with me. But that being said, what I was going to do here is fix some things. Boop. There we go, fermented spider eye in. And actually, I was looking through my potions again to see what all 9 of these potions were that I was trying to make. And I honestly couldn't come up with what the final one was. I got to 8. I think that's pretty much all of it. Oh no, carrot. What is the carrot? I need a carrot and a melon, right? Golden carrot, glistering melon. Yeah, carrot and melon. So I need both a golden one of these fellas and a golden one of those fellas. And we will be fine. So let me at least make the base for these little guys, and then we'll get going. And what I'm going to do is go start getting some cows slaughtered in order to have 2 of these for now. Actually, I should just make a bunch of these because I need some. Get some cows slaughtered for now to start making my... I'll make 2 of those. I'll put my little carrot guy in here. I guess I should get more carrots. Okay, let me do that. I still got so many of these things. There we go. While we are doing this stuff, I was listening to the radio on the way home from work, and they were talking about amnesia and waking up with like dissociative amnesia and how cool it would be to, like, you know, start some things over and kind of wake up with a clean slate almost. And I don't necessarily believe it's, you know, it works exactly, you know, the way that they were talking about on the radio. However, that being said, it did start reminding me of a comment that somebody asked. And off the top of my head, I don't remember who, because I don't even remember if this comment was asked to me in the context of one of my episodes here, or if it was actually in the context of one of my WDWK podcasts or not. But somebody asked if, so this should be the melon. Somebody asked about if I would talk about time travel, and because they are really intrigued by time travel. And I will tell you, I as well am extremely intrigued by the concept of time travel. I have this backwards. Am I on the melon? I thought I was on the carrot. What am I on out here so I don't get this backwards? Oh, no, I am on the melon. Okay. So I was going to screw this all up and do this all wrong. Now, time travel is something that I have always been just extremely intrigued by. And not because I think it's necessarily like something that's possible right now. Do I think that time travel is something that will never be possible in our lifetime? I don't think I can go as far as to say that. I kind of think that time travel might be one of those things that we eventually might break the boundary of. And I don't know why I truly think that, but I really just have this funny feeling that we can actually do it one day. And I would like to see that come in my lifetime, but at the same time, I also have to think about the fact that if time travel really were something that we should be able to, in theory, break into and be able to accomplish, then wouldn't we know it by now? Because, I mean, really, if people time traveled, what would stop somebody? Because you know that you can, you know, instill the laws and the rules, and you can't go change history and blah, blah, blah. You can instill that stuff all you want. You know that there will somehow be some rogue person who would go out and decide that they know what's best for society, and therefore that they would be better able to, you know, serve society and serve people by actually going back and changing things. I mean, just off the top of your head, if you're sitting in America, you're going to think, okay, what's the first thing that you would change? Is, oh, I'm going to go back and I'm going to, stop 9/11 from happening, Or other people in other countries, you might be, a Jewish person. And you're going to be like, I'm going to go back and I'm going to stop, Hitler from, doing all the stuff that he did and, taking, the Jews captive in concentration camps and things like that. Of course, people are going to think of that. And I think that if you truly were, there's got to be weed down here somewhere. If time travel truly did ever even exist in the world, I would think that by now somebody would have to have already tried to break that scheme. And granted, I guess, and this is why I love the concept of time travel so much, and why I love time travel movies. There's a new movie that's coming out, and I, for the life of me, don't remember what it's called. But I remember it's a bunch of kids, and the ads for it are always like, experiment number 364, and they're going back and doing something else in time and changing the way that some things happen. And I think that movie looks extremely entertaining because I constantly look at different time travel movies, and I'm like, hey guys, everybody breed. And I'm like, okay, how are they going to explain the concept of time travel in this particular film? Because you're going to have some of those movies where, like the Back to the Future model. Back to the Future model is you go back in time and you change something, you change the past, and you start to fade away into existence. But there's also alternate timelines that you created. And that's what the movie Back to the Futures are about, is the fact that you have skewing timelines. Then you can make different things happen in those, in those different timelines. Some of the movies, there's a movie called, I think just called The Time Machine, where it was one of those movies that talked about the way that they did time travel is the guy built his time travel machine, and he did it because his girlfriend had been killed. I don't remember exactly how she got killed in the first place. So he goes back in time and he realizes that he can save his girlfriend. That's the whole point of him making the, a time travel machine in the first place, is because he's going to go through and he's going to save his girlfriend from dying. And when he goes back and he does it the first time. Am I making this backwards? Is this actually going to make 23 of these guys? Let's see. That he saves her, but then all of a sudden she dies shortly after to something else. And basically, no matter what he does, he can't save his girlfriend because it's written fate of history that she is going to die. There's nothing he can essentially do about it. She is going to get killed, and no matter how much he tries to stop it, how much he tries to change it, she will die. It just might be to a different way. It's one of those things that it's written in fate that this person will die. And I love watching different movies for the different aspects of how time travel works. And there was one of them, I don't even remember what the movie was about, or I don't even know what it was called. It was not the greatest movie in the world, but this guy he time traveled dressed as like an astronaut. And I don't know why. It was like the suit that you needed to wear to be like an adequate like time traveler or something. Or something like that. It was, you have to wear this suit to be an adequate time traveler, or you're not going to, be able to survive in the space-time continuum or whatever when you go through. And he went back and he stopped somebody from getting killed, and he even said, they're like, so what's going to happen to you now? And he's like, I will fade away into existence. Or because, now that this event never happened, I would never have actually had to come back here and stop it from happening. So therefore, I am now going to just die. It's pretty much like what happened. And he just like faded away. He was holding like a glass of orange juice, and he faded away, and the glass of orange juice just fell and hit the ground. And I get so intrigued by that kind of thing, because I'm like, no matter how you explain it in a movie, you can't truly explain every aspect or everything that could possibly happen, everything that would raise a question. So this one where the guy, he fades away into nothing and goes away because now, since that event that he has stopped, which is what made him want to time travel in the first place, doesn't take place, he's not going to be there because he doesn't time travel to fix it because it never actually happened. Now that somehow though would raise the other flaws of, okay, if you never actually, that event never happened, so therefore you wouldn't time travel back, if you never time traveled back, you never actually stopped that event from happening, and therefore the event would happen as it did originally, which would make you then build a time machine to go back and stop that event that you were trying to stop. Like, it's a big paradox, and that's what's so intriguing to me about the whole concept of time travel. And I think to myself, if I were somehow able to time travel, if somehow that power was bestowed upon me, that Jeff, you are somebody who can now time travel, what would I do with that power? And I'm not saying, I want to ask you guys, what would you do with the ability to time travel? And I don't mean going back and stopping things like 9/11. I don't mean the big events. I mean, like, for your life, if you truly thought about, I could somehow better myself. I'm rearranging some of this stuff. This is why I'm destroying these things. If you could somehow actually truly go back and better yourself. Let's take, oh, I'm full. What exactly would you go back in time? If anything, what would you go back in time and actually change? And that really makes you sit there and think, okay, and this is taking it from a perspective of knowing that whatever you did is not going to have like these horrific consequences in the future. People like getting killed based on like what you have done or whatnot. What would you actually do? And I don't know. I don't even know if I would change anything. There's a couple things in my life that, and see, this is where the conundrum gets even bigger. There's some things in my, let me throw my pick on the ground. There's some things in my life that, sure, I wish they had happened differently. However, I also think that those things happening the way they did kind of set me up to be the person I am now. And so I guess it would really make me have to go back and think about, what about myself do I dislike? And can I pinpoint that dislike for something that I could actually, I already have another rack. That's something that I could actually change and go through and fix whatever it is that I wanted to change. And I don't know the answer to that question. And I also don't know how I want to get this thing, these items all set up. I was going to come in here and try to get this a little bit more organized and set up, but I'm not actually sure how I want to set this up. I got all these wools. Do I want to put all these different wools in different chests? Many people suggested that I leave like iron blocks and things like that whole, so it's an auto smelter as well. That might come in the future. It's not going to come right now. So on this whole time traveling thing, I will tell you, I wrote a paper in my God, it was an interreligious dialogue class, it was called. Really, really, really kick-ass and awesome class. I'll tell you, in Georgetown, you have to take a theology class, which I know sounds crazy. It's theology. It's, you know, it's a Jesuit institution, so they expect that you will take things. Oh, diamonds are important. They expect that you take things that are going to. I don't want to do all the different colored glasses. That's just too many items. I don't even know if I want to do all the different color wools. That's too many items as well. What was I looking for? I'm looking for prismarine. I want a prismarine lamp if I have any left, because I think I want to do a prismarine chest. Ice chest for sure if I don't have one already. I don't think I need a soul sand chest. I'm really worried about doing all these different wools because I think it's kind of pointless. I want a lot of this stuff to go into overflow because I think it's just too much for what I'm doing. I don't think I need a slime block chest either because I don't think I'll be collecting enough, you know, slime blocks to. This is mainly for just like big digs and things like that. So if I were to do that, oh, I have an ice chest already. Glass, ice, snow. Yeah, I guess we can go that wood. I need a birch. Let's go glowstone. Let's start with the wools then. Wool. These are some of the big wools that I already have going. Let me make sure I actually got a wool. I do have a wool. So in this class, I made a... Stay in there. Light blue, dark blue. I got the wools, netherrack. Okay, so I still got... Diamonds, I think, would be an important thing to put over here. Then I can put... Redstone blocks are what I'm going to go with, thanks to the suggestions for stuff that's over here, and everything else is going to be redstone dust, so it goes in the, there we go. Redstone, oop. Blocks like that. Should I do nether quartz? Silk touch nether quartz, and maybe even like coal blocks? Because I do have a lot of coal blocks that I end up getting. Sure, why not? That'll finish off my blocky section. Oh no, because if I have my diamonds and a redstone, what did I try to put in this one? I want my iron and gold somewhere as well. I'll just put iron and gold, I guess, way over here. Iron. Gold. Something like this, and I'll take these out. And then I don't know what else to do with this thing. But this will actually, I guess this will help start getting this thing sorted out as well as I possibly can. So anyways, in this theology class, we had to, you basically read all these different books about all these different religions. And it was, in my opinion, it was quite cool. It was a very cool class. But it was taught by a Christian priest, a Jewish rabbi, and a Muslim imam. I never remember how to pronounce it, if it's imam or imam. Either way, it was taught by that gentleman. And very, very, like, high-ranking, I guess not high-ranking isn't the word, but very well-known figureheads in those communities. And it was very, very, very interesting, and you learned so many different cool things about these different, like, religions and what they thought about different things. But one of their big things was they said, you know, we've been teaching these classes for a long time. We don't want you to just sit there and regurgitate to us information. Again, oh, I never actually made a decision on what to put in this one. Redstone, coal. This is where I was going to put my quartz. Let's do the quartz block. But I'm somehow missing. Where did my quartz block go? If I do that, it should actually filter down into here, right? I mean, granted, it's not going to run right now. I don't see it trickling down into here, though. I mean, it's full, but I don't know. That's kind of weird. And one of the things that they said is they each made us read a different book by that was about their religion or whatnot, and write a paper on book. And they, you know, you're like, oh, book report, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. And it's one of those things that you don't realize at the time, but writing these papers, they straight up said, you know, we've been teaching these classes for I don't want to put the placeholder box in there, that'll screw everything up. They said, we read these papers all the time. They said, don't give us just a reiteration of what the book is. That's not the book report we want. We want you to think outside of the box. Write us a paper, just somehow relate it to what the book is, and think outside of the box. And at the time, I was like, I don't know what to do to think outside of the box in this particular case. I'm just going to, let's just put all this crap in here. I'm just going to, you know, write a paper like I would write any paper and kind of skate by this class. This is the very first paper I wrote in this class. I was like, I'm just going to skate by in this class, and on this book about, you know, it was about the Holy Wars. It was the Christian book about the Holy Wars. I'm like, I don't really care that much about it. I just want to get this done out of the way. You know, I don't have time for, you know, this. I'm cracking down on nursing school, and I don't want things to get all, you know, messed up. with my life because I'm just trying to get focused on, nursing school right now. So I write this paper, and I got like a C on it. And it was a good paper, and he even said on it, good paper, reiterated the book. And he said, think outside of the box. And I was like, okay, I don't know what he wants me to do to think outside of this box. But you know what? On the next one, I'll give it a try. We'll see what we can come up with. I'll try to think outside of the box and see if maybe I can come up with something that's going to be a little bit better for them, that they'll appreciate a little bit more. And we'll see what happens. Look, system working properly. So it was the book on the Jewish religion. And this book was talking about, at one point, I didn't put a normal glowstone anywhere. I think I would rather have glowstone here and actually put this one like over here. Oh, granted, this is gonna screw this whole thing up if I don't get the proper chest going over here, though. Didn't think about that. And it was about predetermination and things like that. So I was like, you know what? I can take this section of this book that's on predetermination. I'm going to parlay this into something about, how did I just do that? Something about time travel, and just talk about time travel because that sounds entertaining to me. And I wrote this entire paper. I touched on a very brief point of what the book itself was actually about, but I talked about this predetermination section and the thought of predetermination in the Jewish religion. And it was the Muslim. It was the book. It was the Muslim book. And I went through this whole paper talking about the different concepts of time travel and what about predetermination in this case, or in this case, or in this case, and related it to Back to the Future versus Time Cop versus the Time Machine. And I related it in all these different ways. I wish I could find that paper still because it was very entertaining to me to... I need a trapped chest. It was very entertaining to me to be able to actually go through and do this. And I got this grade back, and I got like a 98% or something like this on this paper that almost wasn't even about the religion at all, but it was. I related to it, and he made a comment on there of like, great way to think outside of the box. I really enjoyed this. Wrote very good things about the paper and what I had done on there. What? Isn't this how you make a hook? Does a hook just have to do with wood? I don't remember how to make a hook. I'm looking it up real quick. Looking up how to make a trapped chest, which is going to get me to the page that shows me how to make the hook that I need for it. The tripwire hook, which is... Oh, there's no string involved. It's just a piece of wood. I don't know why I thought there was string involved, but I was just trying too hard. So let's do this. Boop. So now I should be able to go boom, 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 boom. There we go. So put this on there, put this on there. Bam, trap chest. There we go. So that finishes out that whole section, and therefore this thing should run smoothly, pending this guy doesn't get trapped over here. I don't think he is getting trapped over here, is he? He's not stationed, or he's not docked. Is he dropping stuff off? Where did he go? But, so the whole concept of time travel has always just intrigued me. And, you know, just the thought process on time travel in general, and the fact that if you think about it from a scientific standpoint, because they've done this before in one of those special atom-like spinning machines. Atoms. They sped up an atom essentially so fast that it essentially traveled backwards in time, and they said there's documentation. I remember this came out it happened in 1999 or 1998 or something like that. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so it's good. And he this atom essentially entered this chamber because they sped it up so fast before it actually entered. It came back into the chamber before they actually dropped into the chamber because they sped it up so fast, and theoretically it went back in time because they sped it up faster than the speed of light. When you speed something up faster than the speed of light, in theory, you can go back in time. And if you drive something, if you do something at the speed of light, you theoretically should go in the future because you're just going with the speed of light and you're constantly going forward. Just with the speed of light, time will not pass to you, and then when you stop, you'll be in the future. In theory, obviously, it probably doesn't work that way. And we should know that it doesn't work that way because light itself is something that would otherwise be traveling back in time constantly because, we constantly are driving our vehicles on the expressway or whatnot. And if we drive our vehicles on the expressway and you turn on your headlights from the point of view of your vehicle are driving. Oh, I just threw all that weed in here. They're going from the point of view of your vehicle. Your headlights are going at the speed of light in front of you, which means they're in theory from a stationary perspective going the speed of light plus like 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, however fast you're going. And in theory, if that was the case, that some of that light should be leaking back into the past. And if that was constantly happening and light was just leaking back into the past, then everything would be, lit up all the time. You wouldn't need lights anymore. You wouldn't need lights in the past because you'd be lighting them from the future, which sounds really weird to say, but I mean, that's the concept that it would in theory be running on. So we know that really truly, I guess, isn't happening like that. Oh, I didn't do anything with stone. I realized I had so much stone in here. Put some of the stone back in here. So yeah, time travel. It's awesome. But I'm trying to think, like, what would I really change? Because of the fact of, like I said, if I change something, you have to change something because of the fact that, oh, you know what? Shoot, I didn't finish out those other dispensers. Those dispensers are getting filled up with garbage, aren't they? The ones back there, because I didn't finish those. I'll have some cleanup to do over on that side of the world, I think, because nothing's going to make it to these front ones. Oh, well. We'll see how this actually works or not. Yeah, I don't know what I would change because everything that's happened to me has made me who I am. I mean, I could easily say some things like, oh, well, I would go back and, not take my hiatus from YouTube at the time that I did. Because for those who don't know, I was, started on, the server. Guude and I started doing Let's Plays close to the same time. He was slightly before I was, and I was after, slightly after him. He actually inspired me to do it. At the time, he only had like 300 subscribers. And then we got to know each other because of the Let's Plays, and that's how I got to know Guude and ended up inevitably, joining, Mindcrack. And I took a couple month hiatus at the time when like the server exploded. And then nobody knew who I was, even though I'd been there for a long time. It was like right when Beef and Paws and all them joined the server. And all of a sudden, Mindcrack, when I came back to it from my hiatus, Mindcrack was this huge thing. And I was like, oh my God, I just missed out on so much. I could say I'd go back and change that because then I'd be part of like the bigger crowd right now. But at the same time, I took that hiatus because I had some things in my life I needed to get sorted out and taken care of that I would probably never have gotten sorted out and taken care of had I not taken that hiatus. So everything that you look at from your past would be different. And you got to keep that in mind. I'm relatively happy with my life. Yes, there's things that I would like to be different. But does it mean that I would have changed what got me here to make those things different? And in most cases, I want to say the answer is no. Even the bad things, even the horrible things. I've done horrible things in my past. I'm not saying like horrible things happened to me. Like I've done some horrible things in my past. Would I even change that? Because knowing that those things that I've done now are something that I consider to be horrible things, if I changed that, would I'd be the same way that I currently am because I know that they were horrible things and therefore it's made me a better person by realizing that I never want to do them again. Just makes you think, doesn't it? I love the concept. I love it. I probably will still talk about this on WDWK podcast. And for those who don't listen, Wednesdays, remember, it came out earlier today. WDWKpodcast.com. Check it out. It's great. Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next episode.